to Dance Commander playing through an objectively unfun, analytically challenging game that no one else is going to play with him. This is Jagged Alliance 2, and it is one of my favorite games of all time. Those of you who are familiar with it, let's start with those of you who are not familiar with it. This game came out in the late 90s, and it's a turn-based tactics game with some grand strategy elements. I'm just going to play the music briefly so you can get an idea of what era it's from. Ooh. Listen to those chip tunes. I'm going to turn that music down a little bit. Music's not bad in this, but it is a little repetitive. Yeah. So, first of all, we have to set up what kind of game I want. This game is brutally difficult. It's like Dwarf Fortress level difficulty. So, we are gonna go improved interrupts, yes. Inventory manipulation costs AP, yes. Progress speed of item choices is gonna be normal. Tons of gun. So probably the most controversial choice for anyone who plays Ja is enemies drop all items on or off. Playing with enemies drop all items off is definitely the hard mode way to do it, but it's also, I think, kind of unrealistic. If I shoot a guy, I should be able to go through his pockets. So we're gonna go with enemies drop all items on. Story background's on. I'm not gonna play with food. This was added in 1.13. As much as Jagged Alliance is a game about inventory management, which you'll see in a little bit, I don't want to play with the MRE system because I don't really think it adds anything. Only other thing here, we are playing a sci-fi game. Max Imp characters, we'll talk about that in a minute. Save anytime versus Iron Man. I'm going to kind of play this like an Iron Man game, but I want to have the flexibility to save if I need to, especially when the Crepitus show up. So we're going to do this as save anytime on the honor system. Okay, so what the fuck is this game about? There's a cutscene that I cut through because basically it's something that it's just like really bad late 90s CGI. The premise of the game is that you're the owner of a mercenary firm, and in this particular case, this guy, Enrico Shivadori, has hired you. He is the exiled leader of a fictional Central American island nation called Arulco. He has hired you to basically lead an insurrection in his country and take back his nation from his, well, ex-wife, I suppose. I'll load up the recon report on Arulco here. And his ex-wife has become this kind of like Kim Jong-un, Fidel Castro, but like really much worse style dictator of the country. And he has been exiled, and he gives you $35,000, which is basically chump change to go take his entire country back for him. And the entire game is kind of presented to you through this laptop that lets you kind of navigate and manage your mercenary company. But the first thing I need to do here is I need to hire some mercenaries. So to do that, I go onto the web, onto the internet, as presented by 1997, and I go to AIM, which is the Association of International Mercenaries, and I figure out, and there's some fun fluff here. You must be of 18 years old, of sane mind, and have no more than 2 felony convictions in every given country to access this site. And there's some very tongue-in-cheek policies in here. But basically, you're going to hire mercenaries from a list of profiles, all of which have different skills and abilities, and have kind of their own little background stories. So, okay, we'll go with Dr. Michael Dawson, who's somebody who I like to go for early game hires with. He's a freshly graduated doctor who's willing to go do some mercenary work. You can kind of see these are his stats up here. We'll go into these in a little bit. You hire them on a contract as time passes in the game, so I would bring him in for 2 weeks or 1 week at this salary. And then you can kind of choose some pre-made loadouts for your characters there.
Michael Dawson, MD.
Oh, fuck off. But we'll get back to this, because I'm going to do something else to get started. This is a map of the country, by the way. And these are all the major cities that we have to eventually retake and dig out the national military from. We start the game in Omerta, which we start the game in Omerta because SAM sites cover the absolute rest of the map, and there's no other safe place to land a helicopter. But eventually, we may want to move towards Drassen or Chitzena or Cambria as kind of our first expansion point. And you can see that some of these cities have gold and silver mines, which is kind of the entire spine of the national economy of this poor little country. And eventually we can hire soldiers and what have you outside of our mercenaries. But I'm just going to get started on the game here. If I go to my email here, I'll see I have an email from PsychPro Inc., which is offering me mercenary profiling services with this internet access code, XEP624, and it shows up in my list of available websites now. And what this is something that was included in the original game as the ability to kind of homebrew your own mercenary. So you could do like a self-insertion mercenary here if you wanted to. I kind of want to do a bit of a challenge start. So we are going to start with... So I'm being joined here on my stream by my friend Ryan. Ryan, you still here?
Kind of.
Ryan, help me come up with a name for a mercenary.
Oh man, a mercenary name.
Like, I want him to be, like, he's hard. This guy's hard as fuck.
I feel as though the name Hans is calling to me.
Hans. There's like 3 other characters in the game named Hans, but that's, Why don't we make Hans the middle name? I'm gonna go with Dragon.
Oh, I like Dragon Hans.
Dragon Hans
Sebastian.
Smith.
Dragon Hans Sebastian Smith. There you go. I'll go with Smith.
Dragon Hans. I'm gonna go with Sebastian. Dragon Hans. Sebastian.
It had a ring to it.
And because I kind of know what character I'm gonna build him as. We're gonna name him KNIFEMAN. That's his code name. Named after the Andrew Jackson Jihad album. I probably shouldn't admit that I listened to that band. And he's gonna be a man. So I can choose through these portraits here. I have to figure out which one of these guys looks like a dude named Dragon. And I think this is my winner here, like very, very clearly.
Time for the enemy to say its prayers.
Choose a voice pack. They're all kind of annoying.
We have some inconveniences to dispose of. Time to take out the trash. It's showtime.
Alright, we'll go with like the Russian voice. We'll give him a normal body. We'll just blast through this here. This guy's gonna be, so I'm gonna set him up as like a spy, basically. So let's dress him all in black. Well, actually that might become confusing later in the game. So we'll dress him up like this. And we'll dress him up all in black. Give him light pants. This is a very important choice. And here I get to choose one of his character traits. Since he's gonna be a spy, I'm gonna make him a loner, because I think that kind of works for him. And I have to choose a drawback for him, and in this case I'm going to give him a fear of insects. You don't have to choose a drawback, but it gives you some more points to work with. And here we get to kind of choose, like, what his background is. So... I mean, I don't know. Is Dragon slaying it with the ladies, Ryan?
I would figure that he would have to be somewhat attractive. I mean, we did pick someone of a debonair picture.
Okay, so he's attractive, and we'll say appearance is somewhat important to him. And since he's a spy, he's got the manners of a snob, but like deep down inside, he's kind of a savage spirit, so he doesn't really care about manners.
That would explain being a loner as well. It does fit.
Yeah, like he can play the part. What country is this motherfucker from?
Well, given the picture and the name, I'm gonna go with not American.
Yeah, definitely. So he could be Bulgarian, Estonian, Hungarian. I mean, it's like
I don't know why Finnish stands out to me in that list when you went past it.
All right, let's go with Finnish. He's from Finland. Where the fuck is Finland down here?
Leave the Finnish dragon alone.
He's Finnish, but he hates everyone from. He hates Danes.
You would also
He's
explain that like an
extremely
insect.
prejudiced against Danish people. But he's definitely not racist. Like this guy is. I am not getting into that in this stream. But he's, you know what? He's a little bit sexist. all right. That's all right. Dragon, Hans,
Being
Sebastian. Being a little what? Okay, so here I get to choose his major traits. Some of them are obvious, like auto weapons makes him better with assault rifles. Deputy or like squad leader makes him a good leader. Hand to hand is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. Hunter is long rifles and shotguns. Gunslinger is pistols. Technician is like science. Paramedic is a very important one because if you don't have at least 1 point in paramedic, the character can't perform surgery. But with him, we're gonna go all the way in and make him a spy. And if you read the thumbnail here, this allows him to disguise himself as a civilian or soldier. And he has a huge bonus to his chance to get an instant kill with a covert melee weapon if he attacks someone well disguised. So, I can choose a secondary skill for him here. Athletics, stealthy, night ops, melee throwing, ambidextrous. Some of these are good choices. Bodybuilding just makes him generally tougher. Makes him a lot more resistant to getting hit with hand-to-hand attacks. Doesn't fall down as easily. Throwing is useful. Melee, obviously, you know, chance to dodge melee attacks. Not as useful as you might think, because at zero range, most enemies are just going to try to shoot you in the face. But, you know, fun to think about. And athletics is just useful because it gives you more APs and lets you go faster. So it's probably between melee and bodybuilding here. I don't know, the guy's name is Dragon. Yeah.
I feel like you'd be a bodybuilder.
Yeah. Let me look at what melee actually does real quick. So he does more damage with blades.
Oh, he does have. His name is Knife. So I mean. Okay.
Yeah, he's Knife Man. We gotta. And then the final thing. This is kind of fun. We can choose from all these backstories and just kind of what was he, a prison guard? Was he a gang member? You know, I'm gonna start with gang member, and we'll look through the rest of them here. Drill sergeant, skydiver, priest.
I think gang member would definitely explain the nickname.
The Nick Dragon, Knife Man. Yeah, gang member it is. I should look at what that gives him. So then the final thing we have to do is we have to determine his attributes, and I have 200 points to do this with. So I'm just gonna pump him up all the way with dexterity and agility, strength and wisdom. And then, he doesn't really need to have leadership. Oh, it's not letting me give him less. Weird. Oh, right, I didn't add anything to health. So we're going to put his health all the way up. I'm going to leave his marksmanship somewhat low, because he's not going to be doing a lot of shooting. He can still learn from 50, but... So the way this works is that I can spend points to put points into his technical skills, like explosive, medical, or mechanical. I can choose to take all of his ability in a category away. Like I could make him have no medical ability whatsoever, and that gives me extra points. But that means he can never ever learn how to even like bandage himself. So I think we're done with this guy. The final thing is he cost me $3,000, and this kind of becomes the issue with IMP mercs. Is that they're a lot more cost-effective than the actual AIM mercs that you're required to hire. So I'm gonna limit myself in how many I'm allowed to hire. But we're just gonna get on the ground with Knife Man. It's a lot more optimal to hit the ground with like a full 8-man team. But just to keep this fun and interesting, we're gonna do it with this. Boom. All right. Day 1, ground 0. Let's invade this country. Check out these graphics.
Check out those.
Это и называется на бреющем полете. Чтобы на белых посмотреть, приходилось голову задирать. Приятно встать на твердую землю. Так где скрываются повстанцы? Здесь драться придется без вопросов.
I agree
Враги.
with you, Dragon.
Будет сделано.
Oops. I agree with you, Dragon. All right, so let's look at his inventory really quick here. He's got a knife, a canteen. He doesn't have any. Okay.
Я слышал шум.
Время мусор выносить.
Oh shit. All right. So, explaining a little bit what happened here. The game is real time up until you come into contact with an enemy squad, and then it becomes turn-based. So you can see here, I've got the various places he can move to, and a number next to it. That's how many action points that would cost. And down here, at his profile, you can see that he has 100 action points right now. So he currently has a, what does he have here? An FN Browning HP 35, 40 cal Smith & Wesson, and I can just make a shot, like, because basically I got an interrupt on this guy. He tried to walk through the door and I saw him before he saw me. So I can spend AP to just try to, like, cap him in the head here. But my character is named KNIFEMAN, so we're gonna actually try to get him with the,
Yeah, I think you're set up for an obligatory stabbing.
we're actually gonna try to get him in the neck with a knife here. We're gonna spend kind of a lot of AP. Oh! Oh!
Чума ништяк.
Get it! Alright. And, that has the added bonus of not basically revealing my position to the rest of his squad mates. So, we're gonna
You
run
lived
up
up to the expectations.
We're gonna run up to this door here. Just kind of like peek out into the street. See if we can see any of his nerd friends out here, and we can't currently. And I'm gonna turn the music off because it's kind of bothering me now. All right, there we go. Let me know if you guys like the music, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with not having the music here because it's kind of repetitive. So apparently I've exited.
Время мусор
Okay.
выносить.
So I've exited combat mode here with KNIFEMAN. Turn, make it look this way. See if I can get this guy to walk through this door.
Я!
Come get me.
Я!
Время мусор выносить.
Ooh. Ooh. Do I want to run and try to get him? If I were to run, I could stab him in the neck with only 62 action points used. Ryan, do you dare me?
You know, it seems like you're going to get shot on the way, but it seems as though it's worth it for the name.
He is the KNIFEMAN.
Дьявол!
Oh boy, not a good plan anymore. We're gonna we're gonna switch out to the pistol here, and that didn't work so hot. So he's just gonna run around in his
Yeah.
room. Whoa, whoa! This guy's like right here. All right, we'll get him in the dome. Just dome him right there. All right.
Чума ништяк.
So what happened there is I turned to run away, and he was able to get an interrupt on me. But I got an interrupt on him because the interrupt system is kind of strange like that.
Я!
But
Слушай, я хорошо стреляю.
yeah,
Но боюсь,
like I
не
was telling you here,
настолько.
there's no way he can make this shot. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run around to this piece of garbage out here and use that as ground cover.
Я!
Try to advance on this guy. Spend a turn just kind of seeing if we can
Yeah.
draw him out, but we can't. So let's get you down here, KNIFEMAN. Turn to face your foe, and let's get you down into a crouch. And he's got fairly good cover right now from this this piece of trash. But
Yeah.
the problem with this game is you can basically just get fucking killed. Like,
Слушай, я хорошо стреляю, но боюсь не настолько.
Yeah, we'll get down on the ground here.
Yeah.
So I get an interrupt during his turn. Ooh. Was able to get him to crouch, so I took some APs away from him here.
Yeah.
Sorry, my screen keeps going off because I'm playing this game windowed, so I can't. So I'm probably gonna have to close the distance here. But before I do that, I'm
Будет
just gonna run
сделано.
down here. There's some civilians cowering in here. End my turn.
Дьявол. Yeah.
Alright, you've got to have... Oh, right, he doesn't have very good marksmanship. I kind of forgot about that. Why don't we try standing? Let's try turning around. Okay, so this civilian here is actually blocking the door. Well, let's try shooting him in the legs. That's probably the best bet. Oh, boom. Alright. So shooting enemies in the legs doesn't do a lot of damage, but it, like, completely screws over their next turn. And a lot of times it makes them fall over.
Yeah.
Boom.
Готов.
Get some. Alright.
Yeah.
So there's still an enemy here because the combat hasn't exited. We're going to get back on our feet because I think a lot of KNIFEMAN's strength is his ability to get interrupts.
Yeah.
So there's still an enemy on the board.
Yeah.
So he hears a noise coming from the southwest. Never eat soggy waffles. And we
Damn
can't...
right.
Время мусор выносить.
Okay, so he's right here. And this guy is another private, Ralph Johnson. Good job giving him a name. Good job giving him a name. So we're just gonna hide here, wait by the door, and get ready to stab him right in the neck.
Yeah.
So another thing here, I'm actually not playing Jagged Alliance. I'm playing Jagged Alliance 1.13, which is...
Дьявол.
Ooh, okay. Which is a very popular fan-made mod, and it heavily mods the game. How do I want to approach this? Let's actually go at him from over here.
Yeah. Я слышал шум.
What the fuck? Where did he go?
Время мусор выносить.
Okay. Okay, Ryan. Now, for the greatest risk of all, should I run up and stab him in the neck? It's going to take every action point I have. Every action point.
He's not even looking at you. I'd feel as though it would be a shame to waste it.
KNIFEMAN! KNIFEMAN! Oh! Oh!
Чума ништяк. Вот так.
Oh!
Сектор чист.
Yeah, this is an enemy-free zone. Okay. Okay, that's...
Сделаю.
Alright, so now we can kind of like see what he left on the ground here and look at the area, and these are like the weapons that have been left on the ground. So 1.13 adds a lot of new guns to the base game and adds a lot of attachments and adds a lot of realism. It's like I wouldn't call it a total conversion mod because it keeps the same story as the original game, but it's almost a complete overhaul of the base game. So here we can kind of see his inventory screen, and as you can see, this is a very detailed inventory screen. Jagged Alliance is a game where inventory management is actually like a really core game mechanic. It's actually kind of an interesting game mechanic. I'm just going to kind of go over what he has here. So he's got his pistol, which has 3 of the 14 bullets left in it. I'm going to eject that mag. And he doesn't really have a whole lot of other bullets for his 40. He's got this other clip, so we're gonna ram that home, and then he'll just have this clip with 3 bullets left in it. He's got a civilian disguise that he can wear, a canteen which will refresh his stamina, and he's got a utility knife, which is a weapon that he can use well disguised, and you can kind of tell that from the where's the advanced traits thing? It should be a weapon he can use well disguised. Huh. In any case, he's got a knife, and I've got this letter from Enrico Shivadori that'll... So my goal right now is to contact the rebels that are on the island. And you can see he also has a load-bearing harness. Which... Oh, he has a garrote, too. I didn't see that. So he has a load-bearing harness, which really is, like, a big part of the game is what kind of, like, holsters and load-bearing gear do my people have. Because having, like, different vests can determine what people can carry. Inventory management's big. He's got a 3-day combat pack, and he's also got a Tim's backpack. Currently, I'm going to have him lose the backpack, because I just don't think he has that much to carry, and I want him to move faster. He's also got a Kevlar vest, which I can put some attachments on, but that's actually like a kind of a medium-level protective piece. And after maybe one more fight, I'm going to have to kind of get him changed over to a different weapon, because he's going to run out of 40 ammo.
Why are you here?
Maybe not the best thing to say to some guy with a gun that's standing in your crappy house, Fatima. I don't know.
How could it be that you were sent by Enrico? He has been dead for more than 10 years.
Well, as it so happens, I have this letter to give you, Fatima.
A letter from Enrico Civaldori. He has not forgotten us. Very few people are aware that he's alive. As far as most of the people in Aruko are concerned, he was murdered over a decade ago. We had given up hope of ever hearing from Enrico again. Who would believe that someone living in the comforts of exile would care about this dismal country? Very well then. Follow me. Do not make any quick moves. Miguel's men will be nervous. You do not wish to intimidate them. The Drana has brutally bombed and attacked us for over 2 straight months.
I can see you have a hole in your wall. Hey kid, you wanna join the resistance?
Будет сделано.
Let's talk to him. Let's talk to this little shit. Ah, fuck. So what do you think, Ryan? Does this have the potential to be a good cast?
So far, I'm liking our main protagonist. He is doing quite the job of taking a stab at it, you might say.
Yeah, KNIFEMAN. So you can see that, like, if I turn away from her, she disappears. And that's because this game has true line of sight, but it doesn't tell you what your line of sight is. So, like, there could be a guy standing right next to your mercenary, and you won't have any idea if you're not watching that sector.
Сделаю.
Which is how I was able to just run up and stab that guy in the back of the head.
And I'm somewhat disappointed knowing you had a garrote despite being called KNIFEMAN and you still stabbed him from behind, because that would have been a little bit cooler, I feel.
Yeah, I mean...
Будет сделано.
I feel like the nickname needs to be owned up to at least at first.
You did land and
Why have you brought them here? Have you lost your mind, woman? You bring death to all of us.
They have been sent by Enrico Civaldori. They're here to help us, Dimitri. They must speak with Miguel. I would never bring them here without proof of this.
In respect of your husband, I take your word. We will go down. But if you make mistake, Fatima,
Holy shit,
you will
dude.
die with them.
Chill the fuck out. So this is maybe our first sign that these rebels aren't the greatest people.
Do not move, and no one will die.
What country are you supposed to
Fatima
be?
say they are here to help us. She say she have proof, Carlos.
Enrico has enlisted mercenaries to aid us in the struggle. I have a letter addressed to Miguel. It is signed by Enrico himself and contains details of the night we helped him flee Aruco.
Enrico? Civaldori?
Most suspicious. I question his reasons.
This is back before our understanding of racism was so advanced as a society.
I do not. Let me see this letter.
So this is like all the
Here.
game devs pretending to have like Central American
It be
accents.
true.
Um,
Enrico has sent men to help us. On behalf of my rebel force and the people of Arulco, I
whatever.
welcome you. We are very much in need of your
It's a
aid.
fun game.
Diana wishes to remove Omerta from the map of this country.
She is evil, a driven bitch.
I love IRA.
That will do, Ira. I am sure our friends have heard of her nature. If not, they will know soon enough.
Нет, сначала мы с ней прогуляемся. И надо тебе сказать,
Not if we
большинство
take her out
женщин, с
first, let
которыми
me
я
tell
гуляю,
you. Most
даже
women I
карту
take out
читать
don't
не
even know how
могут.
to read a map.
I have lost over 30 men in the last month. My force is down to the people you see here. But I do
think
have a
that's that
few
sexism coming
trusted
through.
people
Yeah,
living
we
in
get
the
brownie points for
Arulco
it.
countryside.
Yeah, I did make
The
him
people of
somewhat
Arulco
sexist.
would overthrow Diana with
I
pleasure,
actually, like,
but
cut
they
out for a
live in
minute when you
fear
were
of
doing
her,
that, for whatever
and
reason, my
rightfully
computer
so.
froze.
She be heartless and brutal. She has robbed our country of its money and its soul.
And its soul.
Getting their confidence
Can't
be our
buy this
biggest
soul,
problem.
Miguel.
The people must feel we are capable of defeating her. Yet, without their support, we cannot. We are missing soldiers and equipment. You could not have come at a better
I
time.
don't think he'd be buying.
We are
the
short of
full
food
money
too,
and
Miguel.
so, though.
We need safe passage to Drassen, or more people will die.
Yes. Carlos be my close
yeah.
advisor.
All
He
right.
is right. If you can remove Diana's forces from your path, there is a priest in Drassen named Father Walker. He be a drunk of poor judgment. However, he will be sympathetic to us. Find him and tell him no more. I have faith in. We have nothing to.
Oh, fuck you, man. All right, so one of the things you can do here is you can talk to Ira.
I'm Ira. I came to Arulco 5 years ago as part of an effort to supply humanitarian aid. I soon realized the only aid they needed was in getting rid of Driana, by whichever means possible. All right. I could be of help with
I'm
some
gonna
of the
recruit
ins and outs of this country and its people. But I must tell you, I'm not a professional like you guys. I'm afraid my marksmanship is a little weak for a soldier. Miguel used me mostly as a medic and a lookout. Anyways, I'm sure we'll make out okay. Let's get going. I'll lead the way.
So I get to pick up Ira here, and Ira is actually one of my favorite characters in the game. She's got a lot of backstory, and she's basically
Будет
like
сделано.
a Peace Corps volunteer turned she's like a Peace Corps volunteer turned kind of freedom fighter. And she
Будет
starts the
моё.
game not being very good for much.
Сделаю.
You got my ear.
But she's free. You don't have to pay her a salary. You have to pay all your other mercs a salary. And that makes Ira one of the single
You got
best
my
characters
ear.
in the game. Because you will always keep her with you, and she's a medic. So she can perform surgery and heal permanent
You
wounds.
got my ear.
Which is a really, really significant,
Сделаю.
is a really,
Там
really
что-то есть.
significant bonus. So we're just gonna walk around a little bit. I'm gonna loot
I'm on it.
these buildings and just kind of see if there's anything worth taking.
There's stuff. Look here. I'm on it.
Bloody knife.
I love how the one runs around the building and the other opens the door.
I'm on
Будет
it.
сделано.
Roger. Flippin' A.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So now we're gonna look at the inventory that we've uncovered for this sector. Oops. And we're gonna stock up here. I want Ira to get a canteen on her. I want KNIFEMAN to have a first aid. Well, actually, okay. Here's a thought. Ira, you're also gonna get the first aid kit, and you're gonna get a spare canteen. We're gonna stack those canteens. KNIFEMAN, I'm gonna take this throwing knife. I'm gonna give it to you. And we are gonna take your load-bearing equipment off. Oh, and this money, yeah, I'm gonna give this TNT to you here. Ira, you're gonna get the throwing knife. Because you don't have a knife, and you can just use it as a normal knife. I have to probably review how stealth and concealment works in this game. So, I can see I got a new email here, which is kind of how the story is delivered to you. There's not a lot of those cutscenes left, like where they just talk and talk. So, okay, here's my results from my merc I hired, but just got an email from the guy who's sponsoring us. Just wanted to say my thoughts are with you, best of luck. Remember to seek out Miguel and deliver my letter. So our goal now is to go to the city of Drassen, which is over here, and find a drunk priest and get him to basically run some food and medical supplies back into Omerta, because everyone in Drassen thinks that everyone in Omerta has died. Because shortly before we arrived, the Queen's army kind of rolled through and leveled the place, which is why it's such a shithole.
You got my ear!
So normally, I would hire more mercs at this point, or I would have brought more mercs into the island, but I want to try moving away and just taking KNIFEMAN and IRA, and seeing if we can use disguises to get to Drassen with less resistance.
I find it completely amusing that if you take KNIFEMAN and IRA, you can spell Kira.
KNIFEMAN and IRA?
You have Team Kira.
Team Kira. So, oh, okay, sure. So we're gonna move through the forest.
Roger!
Here. Oh, yes. Yes, this is the best part. We get a cutscene here. Meanwhile...
This better be good.
Alright, this is the Queen.
Forgive the intrusion, Your Highness, but one of our North patrols has been attacked.
Elliot, you idiot! We crushed those rebels in Omerta! How can it be?
From what we have learned, Your Majesty, the rebels seem to have some sort of foreign aid, commando types. We speculate they arrived on the helicopter that was spotted earlier.
Commando types? What sort of commando types? From where?
They may be hired mercenaries, Your Highness. There weren't many.
There was only one.
What? How would the rebels get the means to recruit mercenaries? Well, no.
The rebel party seems to have used the element of surprise to their advantage, my queen. They defeated us.
Send my troops to the location at once.
Yes, Your Highness.
Okay, so periodically throughout the story, we're gonna get a cutaway where we get to kind of see like how frustrated we're making the Queen. This is amusing. I think it takes away a little bit from how much they build up how threatening she is in the lore, because she's a bit of a cartoon villain there, but like, whatever. So to move across the world map, you can manually move from hex to hex, or you can kind of do what I did and set a route, and then determine how fast you want to advance time. So here, I'm going to advance time by 30 minutes. And you can see that I'm still on day 1.
We have company. Deidreana's men are around.
Okay. So here you can see the red dots are the enemies, and the yellow dots are me. We're going to go to the sector. It's 2 versus 5, which is really bad, because even though I defeated that opening squad pretty handily, I'm going to start both KNIFEMAN and IRA down here. And then
you got my ear!
Just go, like... They're both... Okay. They're both going to go prone.
You got my ear!
IRA's going to go in stealth mode, and we're going to figure out how to disguise KNIFEMAN. So what KNIFEMAN is gonna do is he's gonna drop his pistol on the... Well, okay, hold on. So he's disguised as a civilian now. But he can't be holding a gun. So I'm gonna actually have him abandon his load-bearing harness. And he should not have anything... he should not have anything to make him look suspicious at this point. So we're just gonna walk him up the road.
You got my
Ira
ear.
sneaks here. And see if we can get into contact with the
Время мусор
squad.
выносить.
And they should just kind of ignore
Сделаю.
him. But I wanna
Сделаю.
sort of... Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not how this works. So they immediately opened fire on him. I'm not exactly sure what went wrong here, but we need to win this fight now. Okay, not good. Ryan, I may have fucked up this run.
Well,
Опять
I
противник.
think it's early.
I probably should have
противник.
reviewed how stealth works. The
Yeah.
good news is these yellow shirts aren't very good.
Будет
So
сделано.
there's 3 like grades of enemy on the island, right? There's the
You got my ear.
No, I'm not gonna surrender. There's the yellow shirts, the red shirts.
You
and
got
Надо
my
отсюда
ear.
выбираться.
Oh,
Немедленно.
shit. Okay. So a bunch of the adjacent hex
I've
had
got my hands
reinforcements
full.
that all just showed up.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. Okay, here's what we need to do. Knife Man. No, I'm not gonna... Okay. Alright. Knife Man, you're gonna stab this guy in the head. You have to go do it now.
Yeah.
Okay. Easy there, buddy.
Чума ништяк.
Alright, powerful.
You got my ear.
Power play, Knife Man. I like it.
Roger.
Ira, get over here. Oh, shit.
Дьявол!
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck, Ryan. I fucked
You got
it up,
my
buddy.
ear.
Yeah.
well, at least now you know what not to do.
I don't know what happened. I should have been disguised. I'm not exactly sure.
It did show a logo, but perhaps you just can't have weapons on you at all?
Yeah, I have to...
Except a
It
knife?
might have been my 3-day pack. So what I want to do is I want to exit off the south screen, but this is always hard to do in windowed mode, because what I need is, like, I need to get the exit screen thing for them.
You got my ear.
It's not going to give that to me, I don't think. So
Yeah.
we are going to just keep moving to the right to get ahead of this other squad. And the good news is these yellow guys have really poor accuracy. So we probably have a reasonable chance of just trying to...
You got my ear.
But Ira's carrying so much. She's probably going to be... Yeah, lose the 3-day pack, Ira. You just don't have... You know what? I'm overthinking this. Let's just run, Ira. Let's have you run out ahead here.
Дьявол!
He's gonna get an intro.
You
now.
got my ear. You got my ear.
Yeah.
You're just gonna
Слушай, я
fire
хорошо
over there
стреляю,
and try to
но боюсь
suppress
не
it a little
настолько.
bit.
Слушай, я хорошо стреляю, но боюсь не
Great
настолько.
shot.
Сделаю.
It's 1 in a million.
You would figure with 3 of them there, you'd have to hit something.
Oh, fuck. Alright, he got a good hit on Ira here. This is not good.
Yeah.
This is very bad.
Опять противник.
Okay, alright. Just keep cool.
Yeah.
Ira doesn't have any action.
You got my ear.
So, we're just gonna try to get her down over here. Damn it. You're the disease and I'm the cure. So you can see,
Опять противник.
you can see Knife Man's taking some hits here, and this is less effective.
There's
than you
the
might
enemy.
think, because
Oh, I've been hit.
yeah, I know you're hit, Ira. I'm fucking blind.
Roger! You got my ear!
Yeah!
Alright, get this guy in the leg. Oh no! Ow! Shit!
It's like watching somebody in XCOM miss that 95% chance to hit 3 times in a row.
We're just gonna have to run.
Diablo!
We're just gonna have to run. Oh no! Ah! Shit! We've been defeated in this sector. Well, okay, so like when I said this game was brutally hard, this game is brutally hard. Like, this game is insane. And that's one of the reasons I love it. So, KNIFEMAN and IRA are both dead permanently. There's no way to recover them now. I may revert to a previous save, because if you tried to Iron Man this game through, that may eventually be something I try. Because that would be, like, one of the supreme challenges in gaming would be to beat Jagged Alliance without loading any saves and just like own all your deaths. But I have no mercs on the island anymore. So so now if I wanted to continue from here, I would just have to hire some AIM mercenaries, which we may do or we may not. But that was Jagged Alliance. I'm gonna push this to YouTube. Let me know what you think, anyone who watched my Arma streams and really enjoyed watching me cast that. Is this something you'd like to see more of? I'm going to do more of it, whether you want to or not, but some encouragement would help me know what you'd like to see and if there's any requests. So I'm going to cut the stream here, but hey, for my 3 viewers, thanks for tuning in.